Okay, for today, we're gonna learn how to trim a bowl. So, the best way I have found to trim a bowl is using a foam bat. So here's my bowl, and it is leather hard. Instead of picking it up and trying to flip it over, I'm going to use the foam bat to do that work for me. So I'm gonna take the foam bat, put it over the top of my bat that has the bowl on it, flip the whole contraption, and then take off my bowl. It's the best way to do it without damaging your top lip. Okay, so now that I have my foam bat with my bowl, the foam bat has to go onto my wheel head. Now these foam bats, it's literally a piece of foam that's glued onto the top of a normal bat. So find the side that has the 3 dots, put your fingers on the bat pinholes underneath, and fit it onto your wheel head. Make sure that you secure it so that it's on both sets of bat pins. Okay, so now we're gonna go through the centering process just like we did with our tumblers. I'm gonna use my needle tool and I'm gonna draw a circle. Now, I don't do things one-handed, and I'm still watching some of you do this, so please make sure that you are carefully drawing your circle. Once you have drawn your circle, you are centering your circle. So, it's difficult for you to see. So if I hold you here, now you can see my circle is not centered. So I've got a thin side and a thick side. So the thin side is where I'm going to push towards. So I need to adjust by sliding my vessel towards the skinny edge. Because our goal right now is to center the circle. Okay, so I'm gonna gently do that so that, again, I'm not ruining my lip. I'm gonna erase my circle and try it again. This is pretty close. One more small adjustment and I'll be ready to go. Okay. Now that my piece is centered, now we need to trim the bowl. So some people like to have a bowl that doesn't have a foot, that has like a continuous line that goes all the way through. Sometimes you have a small foot, and sometimes you have a really raised foot. So again, it's all up to the aesthetic or your personal preference. But once you are secure here, I would suggest you get one of these trimming discs. They are on the sink counter in the red containers, and the disc itself moves separately from the bottom so that you have a place for your hand to rest without compressing too much in the floor. If there are no trimming discs, a large bottle cap also works, or a quarter or a nickel. Okay, so now that I'm here, same trimming tools as before. So your red rib will finish off and compress at the very end. And then you have these 3 trimming tools at your wheel that you can go back and forth between depending on what you need to accomplish. So I usually start out with my large ribbon tool to get rid of the majority of the stuff, including the lines that I just made for centering. And this smaller one will be for detail, okay? And you can use either end, it depends on what you are comfortable with. I really do enjoy using this trimming tool as well. So you can really get in to make like a nice foot using the curved edge, or you can make a really defined line using the right angle. So I'm just going to remove any dry clay off of here. I'm gonna hold on to my trimming disc, and just get rid of the big stuff. If you're at all concerned that the trimming scraps are going to stick to your vessel, turn your wheel off in between. Now my trimming disc is not centered in the middle of my piece, so it looks like it's shifting, but it doesn't matter, it's purely support for my hand, okay? So I got rid of the majority of the stuff, and now I need to make a decision on what I'm going to do with my foot. So I'm gonna use this trimming tool, and I'm just gonna make a little relief here, okay? And I'm not putting a ton of pressure, I'm just using lots of speed to make my foot. But you can see the nice small foot that I've just created. And then I'm going to use the other side to just clean up the base. And I want the bottom to be nice and flat, so I'm going to use my red rib. And my finger. You're more than welcome to do a relief foot where you carve away the very center and just leave the donut on the edge. For this one, I'm just going to keep it nice and flat because I know I don't have a very thick base. Before I flip it back over to show you the top, I'm going to sign the bottom. I'm going to use one of these smudge sticks, and I'm just going to put in my initials. I would suggest you do the same kind of thing. To take it off of your wheel, use something else to flip onto. Otherwise, I'm just very worried that you will ruin your piece. So I'm going to put this right back on here. And there's my trimmed bowl.